That to me seems high, but I don't do crime and I don't go to jail. Maybe it's not.
Well, I mean, I think it's a relatively fair thing because you factor in. Not only got to factor in how much would that person be making per year as a salary, but you also got to factor in all the money. Again, being honest with the way society is, the 99.9% chance that he is not going to get himself a very lucrative job once you get out of prison.
Oh, not at all. Not at all. He's got that stigma. Plus, he doesn't know the world. Look how much the world has changed in 23 years. Yeah. And he hasn't been available to adapt to all that change. Mm-mm. That's going to take tons of recovery. Plus, therapy from being in jail.
Yep.
I mean, can you put a price on ass rape? I don't think you can.
I don't know if you can. I don't think there's a number for that
one. And $1.5 million. That's what the award is?
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? What's $1 million anymore to anybody?
Nothing.
Give it to the guy. Why are you fighting $1 million?
Mm-hmm.
That's not even a down payment on a 600 square foot condo in Vancouver.
See, that's what I don't get. They were never fighting the fact that he was wrongfully convicted. They've just been fighting giving him the compensation for it.
Jesus Christ. Why?
That's what's fucked up.
The court costs to fight it were probably 10 times that.
Mm-hmm.
This is the thing about people just fucking stop lying. What is the real reason behind this? Sign a check and shut up. It's $1 million. Who cares? You know who cares? The guy who doesn't have $1 million. The guy who just did 23 years in fucking jail.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get.
You even cited a couple of other incidences in Kansas. Like another guy, Kansas agreed to pay $1.1 million to Richard Jones, who spent 17 years in prison after being wrongfully convicted of a 2000 robbery that was committed by somebody else that just happens to look just like him.
Where are these sentences coming from in Canada? Where are you getting 17 years for robbery? You can't get fucking a year for child porn. What is going on?
Well, this is America. Another one, the state agreed to pay $1.03 million to a guy, Floyd Bledsoe, who spent nearly 16 years behind bars for the rape and murder of a 14-year-old girl. As a crime that his brother confessed to in a suicide note. And the guy still spent 16 years in jail.
Yeah, that's what happens. Once they've got you, they're not going to admit that they were wrong.
No.
It looks very bad for a district attorney or a crown counsel to be wrong. They don't like it.
But it's weird, though, because imagine if you're getting into a case. You're 3/4 way through a case. You're getting close to conviction. All of a sudden, you find out, hey, man, this is a fucking guy. Wouldn't you think at anything and say, man, if we put this guy away, though, and that comes back years later, how bad is this going to look? But if we come forward now and say, we got the wrong guy, evidence points to something else, we found new evidence. Like I said, we found new evidence in service. We found some new evidence, and we're done. He's it. He's done. He's free. It doesn't cost anybody anything.
I can't explain it. I don't understand where the false sense of pride comes from, and where the bravado. We got our man. No, you didn't. You just got a man.
Yeah, that's the difference.
I don't understand. What you just said makes perfect sense, and I think people would applaud the guy who said, "Wow, we really fucked up. We better double time and catch the right guy." With our apologies, we're letting this guy go before he gets convicted of anything. We're human. We fucked up. Sorry.
Sorry.
That would make sense to me. Oh, hey, you didn't do it. Sorry. Cops are wrong. They're dumb. Here's a check. Go away.
Yeah. Here's a check. Here's $30,000. Sorry about that.
I don't see the problem in that. I think the public would get right behind that guy. The guy who's got like a 50% conviction rate, because on 30% of his trials, he figures out he's wrong and he lets the dude go. I think people would respect that a lot more than the guy that's got to hand out checks 20 years later and be a big fucking news story.
Yep. I fully agree.
It's logic. Like, I don't understand why the world has to complicate things to a ridiculous degree. When, if you could just listen to me and Gord and the things we say just half of the time, it's so much easier and causes so much less problems down the road. Why do we twist things into problems they don't need to be, and then we get to a point where no one can deal with them anymore. They become these massive things.
You know, I think you said it great when you first said it, which was stop lying.
Exactly. That is the new message from Eric and Gord.
Stop
And
lying.
you'll see it posted on all of our stuff because I made a really neat little graphic for us. It's just it really is the solution to everything. And I gave a very long-winded explanation before I left Vancouver about this. The key is, number one, stop lying to yourself. Number two, stop lying to everyone else. It makes it so much easier. And we don't end up with this shit, and then no one has to give $1 million to anybody.
That's right. Simple. Easy. Now, instead of having to give out $1 million to a school, they have to give it to a guy who probably couldn't.
What changes? If there's a psychologist who listens to our show, please get in touch with us. You can reach me at ericandgord.world. That is a real email where I take serious suggestions. I would like to understand the psychology because there is a point in every person where the things we teach our children every single day stop applying to us. I would like to know the psychological reasoning for that. We teach our kids, be kind. We teach our kids, don't lie. We teach our kids all these things that we don't apply in our daily lives. I don't understand the psychology there, and I'm genuinely curious to know where is the change? Where does it become okay? Why do we end up with a generation like me and Gord's generation who doesn't trust anyone and doesn't have a fucking clue what to do with themselves because we figured out that all you did our whole lives was fucking lie. And we don't look up to governments. We don't look up to athletes. We don't look up to anyone because we've seen behind the curtain and we know that everybody's a piece of shit. Where is that change? Why don't you listen to yourself when you're talking to your little children and go, holy fuck, I don't do any of this shit. I should start listening to myself when I'm teaching my 5-year-old.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Fuck people. Say it all the time. I'll say it again. I'll say it 1,000 times.
It's just so easy to not be like that.
But apparently it isn't. Apparently people really struggle with this. This is really difficult for people.
That's what I'm saying. I would like a psychologist to tell me, is it like an actual like chemical change in the body? Do we actually physically change and become these monsters? Or is it just fucking greed and stupidity?
Do we blame video games or social media? I mean, it's always one or the other.
Well, you know what? Maybe there could be something to that because I was never a gamer.
Neither was I.
And yet I know a guy right now, he's the husband of a good friend of mine. That's all he fucking does. He doesn't put that controller down 24 hours a day. Killing zombies.
That'll come in handy in life.
You know what I figured out when I was talking to Alex and Tom? The people who desire the zombie apocalypse to be real are the people who would fare the absolute fucking worst if it really happened.
Oh, absolutely.
All these pasty little fucking gamers that sit in the dark all day wishing for the zombie apocalypse, you're the first ones to get picked off, you retards. Don't you know that? You don't want it to be true. Trust me. Not that it will be. There's actually a book just came out about the impossibility of reanimation. It's just not ever a thing that's going to happen.
No.
Sorry to burst your bubble, guys.
Please don't apologize. Do not apologize for bursting anybody's bubble. That bubble needs to be burst. Fucking twat.
It's not happening. And gamers, fucking, if you're over 12, go outside.
Called fresh air. You need it, apparently. Now, speaking of stupid people that are the reason for stupid shit, Eric and I were discussing this one off there, and gotta cover it. This is like literally this motherfucker basically out of my backyard. There's this dumb prick from the town of Vaughan, which is about an hour away from me. This stupid motherfucker hops on a WestJet flight going from Toronto to Jamaica.
Oh, Jesus, I thought we could get past this guy.
No, we're actually going to talk about it. He literally stood up, pulled out his camera, stood up and said, I need everybody's attention. I just returned from the Wuhan Peninsula, one of the capital cities in China, and it's the epicenter for the coronavirus. I'm feeling really, really sick right now, and I think I might be infected. I need everyone to stay away from me. Please, don't come near me. He repeated himself a couple times, and then he sat down. So because of this moron, the entire plane had to get turned around, had to go back to Toronto. He was pulled off and arrested, and they're looking at charging him. Basically, they're charging him with for being an unruly guest, but they will be charging him with something. But the worst thing is see, this didn't just affect this. This affected 2 plane loads of people. The flight going from Toronto to Jamaica and the flight coming from Jamaica to Toronto. Both flights were grounded.
Oh, I thought he was coming from Jamaica, was he not?
No, Toronto to Jamaica.
Oh, I thought he was going the other direction.
No, he was on his way too. But not only that, but because he made the claim, every single person on that flight had to get tested for the coronavirus. Every one of them had to go through the screening process and go through all the stuff and all the interviews and all that shit. Every single person got inconvenienced and had all this stuff happen because this guy literally wanted to get a viral video.
Well, he definitely got that. He's got plenty of them.
Oh, fuck does he ever. His thought process was, he goes, I figured it would invoke some type of reaction. Not on the plane. More people seeing it on social media going, wow, this kid's got balls, or this kid's crazy. That's literally what this moron thought.
Yeah. These are our future.
And this is a 28-year-old guy. He's almost 30 years old, and he thought this was a good idea. This is the problem. This is the people that are going to be in charge. So 243 passengers, people who paid for their vacation, paid for 7 days, paid for 10 days, are losing an entire fucking day minimum, which means money lost vacation time that they're missing. They're all missing out on all this because you're a fucking moron.
You can't fuck around on planes, by the way. It doesn't matter what you said. Years ago, I witnessed a guy. He had a ticking coming from his bag. I was checking on. I was flying from Calgary to Kelowna, and the guy's bag was ticking. He goes, that's just my bomb. He got fucking worked.
What a moron.
They pulled him aside. They tore his bags apart right there in front of everybody. Like 4 security guards jumped on him. You can't fuck around with that shit. They don't take jokes in an airport. And I would imagine on a plane, it's probably just as bad. They still do have air marshals on them, idiot. But in what reality does this even make sense?
Well, here's the stupid thing. This moron, he describes himself as an artist.
Yes. I read that
Any
too.
publicity for myself is good publicity, although he did go on to say that what he did, it was wrong. I ruined the flight for 200 some odd people, and I ruined their flight.